people put their trust in us to fight for them. People are better off because they elected a New Democrat for standing up for them and to fight for them. They can't say the same for Conservatives or the Bloc. They literally got nothing.
Welcome to Orange Wave, your source for everything related to the NDP. I'm your host, Will Adams. Today, we are going to talk about the NDP's past year of collaboration with Trudeau in review. Earlier this week, in 2022, the NDP signed a deal with the Liberals. The right-wing establishment media, the Conservative Party of Canada, and critics of the NDP in general called it a political coalition. The technical name, and what I refer to it as, is the Liberal NDP Supply and Confidence Agreement. The deal is simple and matches the name. The Supply and Confidence Agreement was essentially the NDP saying that they'll support the Liberal government in confidence votes if the Trudeau government finally delivers on key issues and brings results for Canadians. So, with that being said, has the NDP propping up Trudeau into government until 2025 been worth all the hassle it's been? And has it actually gotten results to Canadians?
This morning, and we're shocked to learn they have a new NDP Liberal government that is planning to spend and tax unlike anything we've seen before. Now things are starting to make sense. Now we understand why the NDP have been so eager to prop up the Liberals and their unethical behavior. It's because they have been cooking up a secret backroom deal. My question to the leader of the new NDP Liberal Party is this. When did he start these secret talks with his new Deputy Prime Minister, the member for Burnaby South? Was it before, during, or just after the last election?
The Right Honourable Prime Minister.
What this agreement means is in this time of uncertainty and pressures on Canadians, we're going to have predictability and an ability to focus on delivering the things that Canadians asked us all for collectively in the last election. More investments in housing, better support for families, help with the cost of living, growth for Canadians, the fight against climate change increased, and support on reconciliation. The toxicity and polarization that we'd seen in Parliament of the past is now an opportunity for us to deliver for Canadians, and that's what we shall do.
Hear, hear.
I think it's necessary to clarify first off that this is not a coalition. A coalition between political parties would be a lot more tricky to form than a supply and confidence agreement. And a coalition would mean that both the NDP and the Liberals would have shared government duties and would have to uphold a certain amount of rules. Jagmeet Singh, the NDP, they do not have to do anything of the such because this deal was not a coalition. It was just two parties making a collaboration deal so that way they can collaborate on what they feel is their best ideas. In order to understand if the collaboration between the Liberals and New Democrats has had any positive effects, we need to look at what the Government of Canada has accomplished in the year 2022 and beyond, then narrow it down to the stuff that the NDP actually fought for, only to have the Prime Minister take all the credit for it. And you can do that easily. This comes directly from the Liberal Party website. Take a listen. Since 2015, we've been making real progress together to invest in the middle class, grow an economy that works for everyone, and protect our environment. Below, you'll see examples of this progress, like making housing more affordable, implementing the Canada Child Benefit, and lifting over 435,000 kids out of poverty, helping Canadians get the training needed to find and keep good jobs, delivering clean air and a strong economy, and much more. But there's still more to do, and we are ready to keep building on our progress. Then below that, the Liberal Party is taking credit for introducing the Canada Child Benefit, introducing $10 a day daycare, delivering more electric vehicles, and trying to make zero-emission energy more accessible, banning foreign investors from buying houses, making innovations for Canada's transit system, and a lot of other things. And all of those things I just listed are things that the NDP fought for, and likely would not have happened if not for this collaboration.
How stable is your deal with the Liberals, given the relatively short deadlines they now face for key items like dental care and housing support?
Well, our priority is making sure people get help. And so that's the lens through which we view how we move forward in the fall session. We're going to continue to force this government to deliver for people. And if they do not do what people need, if they do not deliver on what people need at this time, then we've got the tools to respond, and there will be repercussions. But our focus is people sent us to Ottawa to work for them. They sent us to Ottawa to deliver for them, and that's what we're doing. We are delivering for Canadians. We are forcing this government to do what's right for people, and that's what we're going to continue to do.
$10 a day daycare, a better green energy initiative, and universal dental for kids under 12 would not have happened if Jagmeet Singh didn't roll up his sleeves and use those muscular arms to lift the Canadian people out of struggle. These are things that parents, children, and potentially many more, if given the room to grow, they can benefit from these things. And I mean that in the most literal of terms. Pierre Poilievre not only voted no many times, but has stated that if he was the Prime Minister, he would repeal the services created by the NDP, despite the fact that he has had all of these services for free under the taxpayer dollar for over 18 years. And he doesn't believe that your kids under 12 deserve dental coverage. He does not believe that young parents deserve affordable daycare so that way they can go to work. And that's very telling of Pierre Poilievre's character. Now, there's quite a simple explanation for Pierre not wanting any of that. Pierre Poilievre wants to deal with made-up issues instead of dealing with real issues, which, by extension, has created more issues for Canadians. Pierre Poilievre knows that he can't win off his real agenda unless he stokes the fears of uninformed Canadians, because his entire party, is completely useless and doesn't offer any realistic solutions to the actual issues that Canadians actually face. Pierre is somehow even worse in that regard, because in the CPC leadership race in 2022, he was the only candidate who did not have an actual platform on his website about how he was going to deal with inflation, the cost of living. He was not going to deal with any of that in his platform. It was just all talk. He didn't actually reveal anything on his platform. The Convoy Party of Canada, whether it be led by Candice Bergen or Pierre Poilievre, they will try and frame literally everything the NDP does as negative, no matter what they do, because they see the threat that the NDP poses to them. Jagmeet Singh and the New Democrats are particularly a threat to the current status quo and their bottom line. With the NDP holding the Liberals and the Conservatives accountable, they would actually have to work together and find common ground and help the people who elected them and sign their paychecks with tax dollars, instead of making everything a partisan culture war and avoiding fixing the real issues. Thank you for listening to this episode of Orange Wave. I am your host, Will Adams. I hope you have an amazing day, and remember, Jagmeet Singh loves you.